My, this is a touching reunion. May I just say, however, that I do ever so slightly fear the implication for my own well-being. Damn! Oh no. Loewe! Good evening, everyone. I would say you've done a splendid job overcoming my little trials and reaching the pinnacle. But all these little rule violations, so unsporting. Rule violations? What are you talking about? We fought every one of your dump enforcers fair and square. And Joshua beat Loewe one-on-one. Had we been fairer about this than we should have been. I see that you've had to grasp the full extent of the plan. All servants of Ouroboros receive power from the Grandmaster in some way or form. If you have a few members of Ouroboros assisting you, that hardly seems a fair informative experiment now, does it? We're an experiment? I've been a fool. Us coming here was part of your plan all along, wasn't it? I'll admit to adding many of my own personal touches to the plan. But yes, about half of it did consist of you making your way here. I see. The gospel plan isn't just about obtaining the aureole, is it? Correct. Also according to the Grandmaster's design. But as I said, you were never meant to have Ouroboros members as part of the experiment. Which means Joshua here is ruining the precision of my results. Forgive me, my boy, but I think it's time you became a puppet once more. What do you... Ugh. Joshua? No. Joshua, are you alright? No. He's being controlled. Joshua, this is a joke, right? Come on back. Come on, stop it. Stop looking at me like that. Please, that's enough. This little point. When all this began, I used my power to rebuild Joshua's shattered mind. The stigma I sank into the depth of his mind has slept dormant since. When it's invoked, however, the effect is tremendous. Joshua really is little more than a puppet to me now. No. Incidentally, that little thing on Joshua's shoulder, this isn't just a tattoo. It's the image of the stigma burned into his mind, made manifest on his flesh. I imagine it came as quite the fright when it reappeared after I returned to his memory. You lied. On top of all the suffering you put Joshua through, you said you'd freed him. But even that was a lie. Now, I wasn't lying when I told him he was free. If Joshua had just left alone and not come this far with you, I wouldn't have done to do this. Why, one could say this is really all your fault, Miss Bright. What a monster you are. Don't you screw with me, Weissman. You don't get to tell me anything about what path I've chosen. You're taking control of Joshua? All it's done is made me even more angry. I'm going to beat you clear to Erebonia and back and save Joshua. Now that's what I was hoping to see. But I'm afraid I'm rather busy at the moment. I don't quite have time to stay here right now. Why don't you come down to the core sector? Do come visit so we can finish the experiment. I'll be waiting. Joshua! No, Joshua! We have to save Joshua. But how do we... I don't know where. Use the elevator in the back. Loewe, thank goodness you're okay. But what elevator? I don't see. Wait, you mean the big plate in the back? It goes right down to the core sector. Straight to the aureole. Hurry, no time. Alright? Oh, come on. It's the creature that brought down the Orsail. Reverie Dragon. Damn you, Weissman, so you did have more than just this one, the one I used. So they want to fight, do they? We've got to get past them somehow. Then let us handle this. Julia! What are you guys doing here? The paths to the Orsail are essentially done. And so everyone who could still lift a weapon came to help out. Admittedly, I'm just taking a long look at everything and all. Hey, don't forget about us. The bobcat's about ready to fly, too. We figured we'd pop on over and see how things were getting on. That's great. And I'd say we managed to time our heroism just right once again. Please, no applause. We'll talk later. Leave this to us. Estelle, hurry and save Joshua, okay? Guys, thanks. Estelle, go. Your light is the only thing that can save Joshua now. Right. Everyone Everyone attack! Let's split into 2 groups and take them down. Yeah! Get keine mit ins Team? Ah, goddammit! Ja, ich wahrscheinlich wieder Joshua kriege für den Kampf gegen Weissman. Didn't think this would be an elevator shaft. Seems to go down very far. It must, at a minimum, cover the entirety of the pillar's height. And I suspect it goes even deeper into the island. Yeah. Estelle, don't worry. Joshua promised to walk by your side until the end, didn't he? You'll bring him back to us, I know you will. Chloe, thanks. Yeah, he'll never break a promise if he can't help it. Besides, like heck, I'm just gonna abandon him and let that creep Weissman do what he wants of my Joshua. It's time to take back my man with my girl power. Yes. That's the spirit. Huh? What's that? Oh no. There's more of these dragon things? We really do need to be ready for anything. It's only just begun. Oh ja. Das macht er nicht und ich brauche eher meine hier aufzufüllen. Ist nicht wirklich das, was ich stark nenne. Bye.
There is nothing my sword cannot cut.
I know. Bye. Los. I guess that's the end of the line. So this is the core sector, huh? You can feel the air humming with power ahead. There's no mistake. So Joshua and the Aureola must be ahead. They have to be here, I think. Guys, this will probably be our last fight. This is where we're gonna stop Ouroboros and the shutdown phenomena. And it's gonna be where we free Joshua from Weissman once and for all. Guys, please give me everything you still have. I'm not sure how much it would be, but of course. Always, Miss Bright. Ja, noch mehr Monster. Brauche ich nicht. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the home of all that is sacred. Joshua! You passed the final trial. Excellent. Excellent. Be proud. You're worthy to be present for the resurrection of the Shining Ring, the Aureola. Yeah, not interested in that at all. Thanks. I'm here to put a stop to all the stupid weirdness. And I'm here to get Joshua back. Ah, yes. Sadly, I'm afraid that won't be happening. What do you mean? Joshua, hey! No matter how you try to deny it, the truth remains. Joshua's mind is little more than a construct. The stigma on his shoulders is proof. Proof that he is Ouroboros, that he is my possession. How dare you! Perhaps if Joshua had somehow erased the stigma of his own will, he could have found release. But alas, he never managed to get that far. It would be best if I keep him as a research subject for a bit longer. Such unbelievable evil. Enough of your foolishness. Goodness me, such insults, and how impotent they are. You see, I suspect Joshua realized very quickly what the stigma on his shoulder meant. Surely he knew something like this exact situation could occur. Ugh. Yet he never breathed a word of his choice to any of you, did he? Not even a whisper. And conversely, none of you were sensitive enough to notice his pain. What power these spawns of yours have! What complete earth-shaking potential! But come now, there's no need for long faces. You have been granted the privilege of being here for this glorious moment. All that remains now is to make the correct choice. Privilege? Choice? What are you going on about? Perhaps I should start from the very beginning. How much do you know, I wonder? About the city and the events that occurred here with the Aureola nearly 1200 years before our time. So that's the Aureola. It most certainly is. One of the ultimate artifacts capable of producing literally endless power and shaping miracles with it. But the ancients sealed it away despite its limitless science-shattering potential. Why do you think they would do such a thing? I don't know the whole story, I'm sure, but the data left in the tower said it was having a bad influence on people and society. Ah, you actually managed to pull all of these together, did you? That will make this quick then. Allow me to play the role of Professor once more and elucidate the truth of the matter. Es läuft gerade im Hintergrund Whereabout of the Stars. Glaube ich. Millennia ago, Audios of the Sky granted humanity the 7 treasures. For brevity's sake, we'll say each one utilized a facet of reality in order to manifest miracles in their own way. Humanity split into 7 factions, each centered around a treasure to pursue an ideal based on the power of given treasure. One such ideal was this Liber Arc, a city in the sky with the aureole at its center. A paradise removed from the troubles of the ground where each man's gospel could grant any wish through the aureole. Mankind lived a bountiful life here, absolutely free of strife. Over time, however, people's life was swallowed up in the artificial bliss granted to them by the aureole. Not just physical ecstasy, but even dreams were provided by the aureole. False realities granted people long-sought spiritual fulfillment. The people of Liber Arc, dependent on miracles that were all but narcotic, began treading the path to annihilation. The Arc's inhabitants lost all sense of ambition and ethics and slid into madness and despair. Birth rates dropped, catastrophical, while suicide and bizarre crime ran rampant, and the whole of society walked the path to a slow demise. But the aureole passed no judgment on these people. It merely granted the miracle asked of it, and so the shining jewel of the sky became a den of evil and chaos. This was the situation Celeste Auslese and her conspirators faced over 1,000 years ago. They built the seal in the device towers even as they fought off the guardians of the aureole, which is sent forth to save itself. And at last they sealed not just the aureole, but the entire city in another dimension. That's what happened 1,200 years ago. I never would have imagined. Much would I expect of ancient history. I will grant that the elder Auslese did quite well given these circumstances. But think for a moment. The cost of Celeste's victory was humanity being cast forth into a land of chaos, forced to start again from nearly nothing. Think of all the suffering man endured and then endures now, as men savage one another with endless petty wars. Can it truly be said that she made the right decision? Well, on the other hand, we have gained or regained orbital technology and once again lived bountiful, easy lives. At this rate, only 2 ends are possible. Either we continuously seek to dominate one another end, unable to control ourselves, obliterate each other in orgy of conflict, or like the people of old, we sink into narcotic self-pleasure, let automated systems run the world and live as farm animals. Either physical or mental annihilation awaits. There is but one single path for humanity if it wishes to survive. The beasts of mankind must be led to the point where they obtain the 2 things required for true enlightened sentience. A flawless rationality capable of resisting any temptation and unswayed by even the fiercest circumstances. A peerless intelligence ever capable of finding the correct solution unmoved by crude emotions. As a taste of Berseria? Artorius? This is the true goal of the gospel plan, to do what even the ancients could not. To advance our minds to what they should be. What madness. Good luck with that. I would so appreciate it if you would not look at me as if I were a megalomaniac lunatic. Man cannot help but change and reform through fear when confronted with something beyond his imagining. In that sense, what better tool exists to drive evolution forward than the aureole? I will guide mankind into the correct path to salvation with its great treasure from ideas. That is my duty as one of the Anguas, my duty to Ouroboros and its master. Boy, I bet you're a real hit at parties. Not. Oh, what's this? A flawless rationality capable of resisting any temptations and unswayed by even the fiercest circumstances. Peerless intelligence, ever capable of finding the correct solution, unmoved by crowd emotions. What's the point of any of that? It seems someone was sleeping during the lecture. As I said, mankind faces annihilation through either conflict or mental entropy. The only way we can No, I heard the lecture just fine. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is, isn't there something we can do about the problems you described if we know they exist? Huh? It's like Joshua said to live if we aren't completely powerless. They might not be guided by flawless, peerless, whatever. But while everyone's working together to get through the crisis going on right now. I've gone across all of Libelle and seen it with my own eyes. Don't you think we're capable of getting along just fine without some kind of force for grand transformation? Really now. Eking out survival by flocking together is how beasts and insects live. Is that really all you have to offer on the potential of humanity as it stands now? Is there anything else I need to offer? Is there a problem with being the same? I mean, we're living beings too, you know. And heck, aren't I just talking about the strength of life? What? I don't think people are just animals, of course. I just think that living honestly with that spark of life from others as your driving force. That's what it means to live. People don't need to be omnipotent, super beings, or whatever you want them to be. People just need to be aware of one another and help each other out. And you know what? I bet the people who steal the aureola away in the first place felt the same way. I mean, sure, making miracles mundane and relying on nothing but them is really bad by itself. But the biggest problem there, more than anything, is that it makes it so there's no point in knowing or helping each other. That's awful. You're right. All men think they're on an island, but in truth they are made men by all the others in their life. Indeed. Still sticking to the mutual assistance argument, invoking the power of human bonds of all things. I would ask you to read the history book before saying such nonsense, Miss Bright. As an example, consider the overpowering, nation-crushing machine called war. Is man not only capable of being ground beneath its treads? Absolutely not. In the middle of the biggest war in Libelle's history, my mother gave her life to save mine. And because of that, I chose the path of embrace, and now, look at me. I'm here to stop the crisis you caused and prevent another war from breaking out. All thanks in the end to my mother. And I'd say you just made my point for me. People are not powerless, not against anything. You're quite good at tried answers, if nothing else. If you really seriously believe people are powerless, and you've really convinced yourself that humanity can only be saved by you turning us into emotional super beings, then it makes you really pathetic, I think. What? I mean, that means you've never known the joy of trusting someone or helping them? To think that your only smug satisfaction comes from watching people struggle. That's just too sad. But even if I feel sorry for you, I am a bracer. I can't ignore the fact that you're getting a lot of people involved in your little pity party. Sorry, but I'm afraid we're going to have to stop you by force. You ignorant little girl, how dare you talk to me like that? Well then, the professor would like for you to prove your theory. What the